being over here in Denmark, I was hoping very much that I would see a watch like this, because Urban Jørgensen was the most famous Danish watchmaker of all time, and since we're very close to Copenhagen, that's where he worked, I would have hoped that we'd have got one.
Yeah.
In fact, this example is by his brother, who was called Frederick Jørgensen, and his signature is actually here on the back of the cuvette. And he was sent to run a factory that they had about 50 kilometers from here. Now, I wanted to ask you a question. Are you a collector of watches?
No, my husband bought them in auction about 7 or 8 years ago, I think.
Just by chance? I mean, he...
Yes, he likes gold-colored things. They were so nice. He couldn't resist them. I think they're beautiful too.
Well, that's interesting because he picked a good one in this. Let me see if I can get it out. Now, it has a peculiarity in the movement, which I won't go into too much detail, but it's called a double-wheel duplex escapement. What it consists of is that inside here there are actually two wheels, one on top of the other, whereas in a normal watch of this type there would only be one wheel. And that makes a difference to the value and to the collector's interest. Could I ask you how much you paid for this particular one?
I think we paid about 3,000 kroner, about £300.
Well, that's good news. Well, that's 30,000 kroner today, which is about £2,500.
2,500 today? What?
At first glance, anybody could be forgiven for not recognising this as a piece of glass. Looks like a piece of metal, doesn't it? Is this a family heirloom? Is it something that's been in your family?
No, it was found on a flea market for about 15 kroner.
15 kroner, which
it's about a pound.
About a pound, £1.
Pound and a half. And this friend of mine found it, bought it from a man who had wanted to transfer the thing to a lampstand.
Yes.
But you could see that he couldn't do it without sort of breaking it up to pierce it without breaking it.
Trying to drill it.
Yes, and well, he just thought anyway it was so horrible and so ghastly, so
Really?
he just wanted to get rid of it.
I found it interesting from a construction point of view. So let's just have a look at it.
Yes.
First of all, it looks like it's sort of painted on the inside with a sort of orange colour. But when we analyse it and look through, we can see, first of all, there are several techniques involved in manufacturing this. First of all, the actual item itself, let's have a look underneath. Yes, it's actually been blown,
Yes.
okay, because you can see traces of a pontil mark which has been ground away.
Yes.
Not only that, when we look into the glass itself, there are sort of flecks of little, can you see these little aventurine sort of crystals which have been encased and trapped behind. Now, once the item had been blown, the next technique would have involved acid etching. After they've done that, they've actually then used a sort of a metallic oxide. And
It's not wax.
No, this is not wax. This is a sort of a metallic oxide because it's then gone back into a furnace and it's been fired at a critical temperature to get this sort of metallic iridescent surface. After that, they've then had to put it back again because the last thing that they would fire would be the gold, which we see on the top here and here on the base. Now, when you get this iridescent glass, it tends to be indicative, not of France, but more of sort of Bohemia, Austria. Can't be absolutely specific and say who made it.
No.
But there are certain, this decoration around the base, this sort of palmette type device, and this decoration around the top is very reminiscent of Moser of Carlsbad. But I think we have to settle for saying that it's probably Bohemian, which is an area which today is encompassed by parts of Austria and parts of Czechoslovakia. But a pound was a good investment because I could see this today at an auction fetching at least 400, 500 pounds, which is what, 4,000, 5,000?
Kroner.
4,000, 5,000 kroner.
Yes.
Right.
So it was a good deal anyway.
It was a good deal.
Yeah.
Your friend has obviously got a good eye.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know where the flea market was and if we've got time today to nip down.
Yeah.